Hello, hello, Virgo. How's it going? We're going to do a random tarot reading. And I don't know what this reading is about or who it's for, but whoever it's for, I hope it makes it to you. This could be about finances, career, travel, love, relationships, family situations, friend situations, whatever it's about. We're going to see together because I'm shuffling it in front of you right now. So I have not laid them out yet, which means, yeah, as soon as I'm done laying them out, then we'll get more of a clue as to what's going on. I also want to mention that right now you have an overhead view on this situation, but as I go through these cards, I'm going to zoom in really close so that you can get a very nice depiction, a very nice view of the depiction on each of these cards. Because this deck, it's called the Oriens Tarot deck, is beautiful and a little bit different than the deck that you are used to last month. We were using the last unicorn deck. So yeah, we've got a new one here. Look at how beautiful it is. Isn't that lovely? All right. With all that being said, let's get into it. All right. This reading is wild to me because it's very specific. Let me put it to you this way. Okay. I think what's happening in this particular situation is somebody who was unable to speak an expression, say something they needed to say. Like when somebody's trying to give a pronouncement or an expression of love and they held back on it. They are not expressing, or they don't have the ability to say what they want to another person. Here's my reason for this. The Six of Swords is here. It's the anglerfish on this particular deck. But I'm going to read it as I usually do under the lens of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, because this deck is based off of the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And Arthur Edward Waite, as I always say in every single reading, he made an instruction booklet on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck's interpretations of the cards called The Pictorial Key to the Tarot in 1910. And when he discusses the Six of Swords in the reversal, it is about the ability to express something, sometimes an expression of love. In the reversal, though, and tied with the Three of Wands in the reversal, the Three of Wands becomes a suspension of activity. The Three of Wands is called the card of the little business merchant. It is when someone can stand in their personal power when they're in the upright position, but you did not receive it in the upright. Virgos, it came in the reversal position when instead of going through with a transaction of energy or a transaction of business, but in this case, whatever it is, it's a suspension. It is the inability to go through with something. And it's doubling down on this card over here. The Seven of Wands in the reversal. And again, Arthur Edward Waite, when he detailed the Seven of Wands in the reversal, it becomes somebody who is so cautious against indecision in their mind that they don't act because they're so stuck in their mind, they have the inability to go forward. My goodness, what an interesting aspect here. Now, the ability to express something when you're trying to tell someone that you care about them, or even when you're trying to express something like you want to solve a problem, whatever it is you want to say as your truth, whether it's love or not love, it requires you to be committed to saying that thing. And for the fourth card that talks about this exact problem of inability to commit to something, we've got the Knight of Wands here. And everybody knows, well, modern mainstream tarot readers know that the Knight of Wands is a card, when it's in the reversal, that can indicate somebody who's coming in and out of your life because they don't know how to commit to something. It doesn't necessarily mean you have someone coming in and out of your life, but whatever it is they're not committing to, it's because they have a lot of indecision and their mind is getting the best of them. Now, the typical Knight of Wands in tarot is a depiction of a knight battling. He's literally running into battle to run on the front lines. He's a knight that has a wand in his hand that's aimed forward and a horse that is galloping so quickly it's unmistakable. The original picture on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck of it being a person who commits themselves to going into battle. But as you can imagine, in the reversal position, they are unable to commit to a certain thing because the Knight of Wands, again, according to Arthur Edward Waite, the OG, the man himself, it is a card of division. And by division, I mean like discourse and the problem that happens when people are disunited. Again, division is a good way to put it. Now, the Queen of Cups is also here. And the Nine of Wands is here. And the Ten of Wands. I think I want to start by saying that the Ten of Wands, most people know in tarot, is a card about something being a very heavy burden. It's when you're carrying a heavy load of sticks in the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck, but those sticks are not just sticks. Of course, they are the heavy load of your life or a situation. And it comes to a point where something gets so heavy on someone that they had to put it down. The thing is when it's in the reversal position and it's next to the cards of indecision, then it is somebody who keeps deciding in their head, should I put it down or should I pick it back up? Because the Ten of Wands card is not about permanently putting something down. It's about putting something down to reorganize it to make it better, which does insinuate, for a lot of cases, when the Ten of Wands is here, it insinuates that humans have the right to put something down and pick it up later if they want to. They don't have to put something down permanently just because it's heavy. Sometimes in life, you do have to put something down because you're making it easier for you to carry what you do have in life. Like say you have a lot of bills and you don't have enough to take one more on. Okay, so you put one bill down so that you can pay for the other ones. Well, unfortunately, sometimes that happens with people in situations too, where a person is so overloaded that they put an entire relationship down or an entire situation down because it was too heavy for them to hold at the time, and because they believe they can go back to it later on and pick it back up. The problem is that's okay when what you're talking about is bills or bundles of sticks. It's not the same when what you're talking about is people, because people are not fucking sticks just to be put down. So you could be in a situation, if this is about relationships and people, and you feel like you had to put someone down or someone put you down, it might not have been fair to that other person. But it could have been what was needed for the person who did the putting down. It may not feel fair to the other person, but it could have been fair to them. The reason I say that is because the Justice card is here and it is in the upright position. But when someone has to go through this phase of trying to put something down or put someone down and all of this indecision about it, usually that's also happening because of the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is the card of protecting oneself. That's why I said when somebody has indecision about something like this or putting something down, they're usually doing it because they're trying to protect themselves. That's what the Nine of Wands is. If you've, again, ever seen the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it is a picture of a man standing, and behind him are a bunch of sticks in the ground, now pointing upwards behind him, like they make a wall. In medieval history, the Nine of Wands is the depiction of a medieval palisade, which is what you see if you have ever seen an old castle or a fortress, and on the outside of the fortress are these big, gigantic sticks that look like they're spears that keep all the enemies out of the medieval gates or out of the medieval fortress. That palisade, that is why on the Nine of Wands, you have all of these sticks. It's the depiction of the palisade, which is in use when someone is trying to protect themselves. So this person decided, well, rather, this person became indecisive. And through their indecision and trying to protect themselves, decided to put something down, and now we've got the Queen of Cups here, could not commit to the situation, which left the Queen of Cups in the reversal position, which is the position of dishonor. And it's also the position of somebody who had like been stuck in their own vices, right? They dealt with their own thing. They did a dishonorable thing. The Queen of Cups loves to be in the upright position because she loves compassion and truth. and honesty and loyalty and togetherness. She does that which is honorable. So to find the Queen of Cups in the reversal position is such a shame, because it means that in the protecting that they did, that how they tried to keep themselves protected and couldn't commit to a situation, couldn't express themselves appropriately, they ended up dishonoring a person or themselves. It's wild, because the Justice card is here. It's like they tried to do what was right, but it still ended up being the dishonorable thing, because the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That's what it feels like. What I'm going to do, though, this is a hell of a ride in this reading, is I'm going to get some clarification about this Queen of Cups and the Justice card. And I also want to mention the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Cups. These are court cards, right? And as court cards, it represents people. So it can be that you feel dishonored because they couldn't commit and put the situation down. Or vice versa, since we've got the two of them here. Maybe it was that you couldn't commit to the situation and they feel a sense of dishonor, and that they couldn't go forward with expressing themselves. Whoever it is, you guys would know. Each one of you will be different, experiencing your own situation, Virgos, of course. So let's shuffle then. Let me get these laid down. Queen of Cups has the card of the Magician. The Knight of Wands has the card of the Knight of Pentacles. Two knights, one on top of each other. And the Justice card has the Two of Cups. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What is with that Justice card and the Six of Pentacles? Damn, eh? This is wild energy for that Justice card. Okay, all right. Before I get into the Justice card, let me think. I'm going to think about the Knight of Wands here. So the Knight of Wands, like I said, is somebody who felt like there was division, couldn't commit to a situation. And the Knight of Pentacles is here to back it up. Whereas the Knight of Pentacles is usually somebody who's trying to achieve something in their life. Their particular goal. That could be their goal with their house, their goal with their money. Usually it involves coming together with people also, because it's the card of the beehive, right? And yet for some reason they couldn't commit to bringing two people together, but they could commit to their own goals here. But remember, two knights has a certain meaning. In 1910, when Arthur Edward Waite made and published that book, The Pictorial Key of Tarot, when you have two knights in the upright position, it means something specific. Just like when it's in the reversal, it has its own specific meaning. But in this case, you do not have both of them in the upright, and you do not have both of them in the reversal. You have one in the upright and one in the reversal, which takes on its own very specific third meaning as well, which is the ability for somebody to become susceptible to influence when it comes to their intimacy. Yes, that entire sentence I just rolled out right there. When you have two knights in the upright, it means intimacy. But when you have two of them in the reversal, it means somebody is susceptible to influence from other people. And when you merge those two together, then you have somebody whose intimacy gets influenced. Their ability to express themselves vulnerably gets influenced because of the people around them. And the two knights are important because they tell the story of what it is that's making them susceptible. Notice it's not the Knight of Cups showing up. The Knight of Cups could mean that they're susceptible with their heart, but it's the Knight of Pentacles showing up, which means they are susceptible to influence from the hive, which means they are susceptible from influence from the people around them in their lives, the people that they are on teams with, right? Or people they don't want to have division with. And because of that, their intimacy gets influenced. That's the way that they were raised, the people that they're with, the friends they are with, influencing them to experience life in a certain way. And that's influencing their decisions. By the way, if you hear my children yelling in the background, my apologies. My one son who has a communication disability, sometimes when he can't express himself, he does a very high-pitched squeal. And I just heard that, and if you did, my apologies for your ears. I've learned selective hearing is the key in my household. Now that brings me to the Magician position. Remember, this looks like the position of the person who has difficulty committing, and the Queen of Cups, who's feeling this dishonor, is being paired with the Magician card, which is really lovely because the Magician is the card of somebody who is choosing to manifest the best for themselves. They're choosing what it is they want in life and how to go forward, especially if what they felt was a sense of dishonor. They don't want to sit in that anymore. They want to make sure they're going forward as the Magician so they can manifest things appropriately in their life, so they can take appropriate control in their life. And most importantly, the Magician is the card that battles through all illusion, because the only way you can manifest is by understanding what is real and what is not. And if the Magician is in the reversal, what does he deal with? He deals with trickery and illusion. But if he's in the upright, what does he deal with then? He deals with magic, real, true, beautiful, spiritual magic and manifestation. And you got it in the upright. So the Queen energy here is this person who felt dishonored, who is going to cut through the illusion so that they can better their own selves. I mean, after all, this person who couldn't commit appropriately, that's what they did. They tried to protect themselves. They tried to act in justice and put something down because it was too heavy. It just so happens to be that they put down, it looks like, you. Whereas now you can put down, you don't have to put down them. You have to put down their dishonor that they've left you with. You put down a different thing for your own benefit. And that brings me to this last situation here that I'm going to put the rest of these cards away. And that is the Justice card. Because the Justice card is being paired with the Two of Cups and the Six of Pentacles, with the Knight of Swords in the reversal, though, which makes it the third knight that just showed up in this reading. The only one that was missing is the Knight of Cups, which is not surprising because the Knight of Cups is the one who comes and brings a love offering. You've got the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands that showed up. Two of them are in the reversal, which is leaning more to that realm. Like I said, two knights in the reversal means susceptibility. But three knights, when especially they are more in the reversal, has to do with commerce. It really does make me think of the hive mind that I was speaking about earlier with the Knight of Pentacles, where somebody had done this because it was almost like they were pursuing something in their life because it's about commerce. They could have been pursuing business, money, finances, a goal that they had in their life with their house, with their education. Six of Pentacles is also here, which is two cards of commerce. The Six of Pentacles is the card of transaction. It is the card of the merchant. The Three of Wands that was at the beginning of this reading was the card of the little merchant. The Six of Pentacles is the card of the merchant, and it's sitting next to a tripled Knight of Swords dealing with commerce. So it's my impression that this person was dealing with life in a not only a transactionary way where they treated you more like a transaction, but that's because their focus is on transacting something in their life to grow their life. Again, their job, their house, their finances, maybe keeping the location that they stay at or live at, right? Dealing with people they want to deal with, who they think that they can experience more fulfillment of their goals. It feels like a lifestyle thing here. And I also think that there's a bit of material selfishness going on in this reading, because the Knight of Swords in the reversal is somebody who can deal with exuberance. Like, their view of the material is that they want something almost status worthy in an exuberant way, in a luxurious way. And with this much talk of the little merchant and the big merchant and commerce, it again leads more to this idea that this person really wanted to do something with their life in a particular way, have certain status or have a certain job or live a certain lifestyle that was so heavy, though, that I don't think they knew where to fit you in. And it's so weird because the Justice is here in the upright and the Two of Cups is in the upright too. I find that really strange. because this entire reading has been about indecision of exactly this. The Two of Cups is union. It is love, but it's the best kind of love. It is the deepest kind of love. It is the kind of love that ends up being sanctified by the universe. Is Arthur Edward Waite, when he wrote about the Two of Cups, first off, in the upright and the reversal, it has the same beautiful meanings. It's one of those special cards that doesn't get a negative meaning attributed to it. And its version of love is so deep that he said it is sanctified. It is holy fucking love. Pardon my French when I said that. That was kind of blasphemous. Blasphemous to spit it out like that. But you get the gist of it. Like, this person was so indecisive because they love you. I know I'm spitting it out really clearly like that right now. And I know that a tarot card person who wants to have a reading is looking for exactly that. And that is what's happening here. They freaking love you. The problem is they loved the finances, the money, and the status more. And that's why this was so hard for them. That's why it was so much of a heavy burden. That's why there was all of those cards of indecision, weakness, all over the place showing up. Like, because they were not making a decision about trying to dishonor you. They were making a decision about trying to do the right thing. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. I guarantee that's what this person did. Like, this does not feel like a person who is a dastardly individual. It does not feel like this is a menace. It feels like their actions can be messy, but that they're doing it genuinely because they are trying to make the wisest choice that they consider in the realm of the material, because there's so much here about the Pentacles and the Wands. And yet they love you because the Two of Cups is here and it's sitting with the Justice card. And this Justice card in particular is being dragged in with the symbol of the wisdom of the owl. This was an extreme learning situation for them. So in this last bit of this reading, I'm going to ask, what are they going to do about it? Are they just going to leave it at that position where they don't express the way they feel? Because the entire first half of this reading is about the fact that this person can't spit it out. They are not able to express the situation properly. Are they just going to leave it like that? Ooh, Ace of Cups is here. Okay. 10 of Pentacles. You're fucking kidding me. Pardon my French, guys. Oh, why did the Death card come out? These are fucking amazing cards. Okay. First off, Ace of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. They're going to get their supreme happiness. But at what cost is it going to come? Their supreme happiness is stability and money and unity. The Ace of Cups is overflowing happiness, but the Death card means they have to go through a massive transformation to get this. Wow. My intuition immediately first said, because it's the Star card, it's the transformation. Holy shit, there's a lot going into my mind right now. The sentences that are going off intuitively are: A, the death and transformation of their wishes. B, the death and transformation of the hopes that they did not know they could still hold on to. Or C, the transformation of their wishes and hopes in relation to all of the financial goals that they were dealing with. That's what is like, there's some kind of area in what they hope for and what they're wishing for that's going to be dramatically changed on them. And when that happens, that is when all of a sudden they get success, love, and stability. God, it makes me want to pull more. What is the specifics of the transformation of the thing they are hoping? Are they going to get their old wish back? Or are they going to have to change the way they're dealing with this material lifestyle thing? Knight of Wands. Oh, really? Oh, it's the things from the beginning. Oh my God, it's the two cards from the beginning. Look at that. The Knight of Wands, the death of disunity, which means they have to take the disunity between you guys and they have to unite it back to the Two of Cups. Holy mackerel. And the Seven of Wands in the reversal again. Oh my God, which you guys, It's the death of their indecision. Remember, these were the two cards about somebody who has indecision. That's wild. Cheers to that. They will come to a position where their indecision is finally going to float away and they are going to get concrete with what they did not want to commit to. Wow, man, I didn't expect that. That tells me at some point in the future, I would put money on you guys hearing from this person because they are going to have to put an end to their indecision. And if it's the wish fulfillment star card, then they want to anyways. They're just fighting against it with resistance because they want this. They want you. They want unity. On the 10 of Pentacles, there is a small coat of arms in the background. You know, the coat of arms that you see on crests in royalty, of two towers that have joined together. The two towers that have joined together on the 10 of Pentacles, on that family crest that's sitting on the upper left-hand portion of the card itself, on the original Rider-Waite-Smith card, is a reflection of two homes and two people who have come together. Woo! My children are still yelling downstairs. But this is a really radical and large transformation for this person. So any further, and this is when I would want to do like a monthly reading or something, which I can do if you guys ever want a private one. Because now I'm looking at this like, okay, when's this person going to figure it out? This year, next month, 2 months from now? They've got a huge transformation with the Death card to go with this indecision, and a big lesson that they're going to learn on the realms of stability when it comes to the stability found within themselves, not just the stability on the outside with all the pentacles and money and goals that they want. Okay, I'm going to leave it off there, you guys. If you're interested in a private reading, like I said, let me know. I do have a sale on right now. 3 questions for $20. And I also have Instagram. If you ever want to join me on there, I just chat. Even if you don't want a reading, I just chat. We just hang out on Instagram. So you can chill with me over there if you'd like. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you very much for this, and ciao for now.